Hey guys, it's me again, and I'm back with a little bit of an update for the last couple days. So I think the last time I talked, I was just about to head off to dinner, so I think I'm just gonna start with what's happened since then. We went out to dinner, and I got mac and cheese because I had been having quite a lot of food that was really different, and I kind of just wanted something that was something that I was used to, so I thought mac and cheese was the way to go. But it turns out the mac and cheese that I got was a mac and cheese tower. So they had like a piece of bread and then some mac and cheese and a piece of bread and some mac and cheese, and it just kind of built it up a lot. And it was really good, but it didn't taste much like the mac and cheese I'm used to, which is to be expected. It was a really nice place. They didn't use any plastics whatsoever. That everything they had was reusable. Like they had cloth napkins and they had glass jars and they didn't have straws or anything. So it was very interesting. The place is called The Alchemist, and their salt and pepper shakers were actually like little test tubes that had a cork in them with a hole drilled in it so that you could pour the salt and pepper out, which I thought was really interesting. And it had a really good view because it was a rooftop building, so you got to see the entire town from where we were eating dinner, so that was really cool. And then after dinner, we went punting, which I think I talked about that a little bit earlier, but it's basically when you take a boat out onto a river where it's kind of shallow, and you take a stick and you push the stick into the mud at the bottom of the river, and then you kind of lean your weight and you push the boat along with the stick, it was really fun. I had a really good time with that. It was actually way more exciting than I thought it was going to be. Ended up actually getting to punt myself. Only two people in my boat. There were six people in my boat. Only two people in my boat ended up punting, and it was mostly a guy, and then I sat there paddling because nobody else knew how to paddle. So we had one oar, and I got to use that most of the time. And then he kind of got tired, so I got to try punting, and it turns out I was really pretty good at it. I think actually I was the fastest in the group for like our whole class. So that was kind of cool, and it was a really fun and experience I'd never really had before. So that was really fun. And then after that, it was like 10 I think 10 or 10:30 at night, and then we had to walk back 45 minutes to get to Christchurch. So it was a good long walk, but and I had been walking all day, so it was quite a lot of walking, and my legs were really tired, but I had like a really good day, and so that was really fun. And I got bubble tea that day. I don't think I ever mentioned that. I've never had bubble tea before, so that was really fun. I got to hang out with some people and have bubble tea. And then the next day, I went back to the Ashmolean, which I'd already been. That's the museum here. So I'd already been there twice. The first day ended up going twice because I went once during my lecture, and then another time I ended up going with some of my classmates, and then I had to go back again to pick a statue that I was going to write my essay on. And my essay is due in about 3 hours, and I haven't quite finished it yet, but it's almost there. So this is about the perfect time to, just update you all. So I decided to do my essay on, it had to be on a statue. So I picked a statue, and I picked the bust of Dying Alexander, which the Ashmolean has a cast of. They don't have the original. That's in Uffizi. I don't know how it's pronounced. But it's a Roman 2nd century bust that, there's not really much known about it. They discovered it, so they unearthed it. It's like an archaeological find, so they had to rebuild it a little bit, and they don't know who the artist was. They don't actually even know if it was Alexander the Great, who they think it is, or they assume it is because it kind of looks like what people think he looked like. So they're not really sure who it's of, but it's called the bust of Dying Alexander because they can't come up with a better name for it, which I think is kind of funny. But that's what I'm writing my paper on right now, and I'm almost finished with it. I've just got like about 200 more words that I have to write to finish it up completely. So then today we didn't have classes because everybody's got to write their paper by 5 p.m. And apparently a lot of people were not really on top of it. So we weren't supposed to have classes anyways today, but it's been a little bit of a slower day. Just so that people can finish their papers. And so I slept in a little bit because I didn't get to bed until really late yesterday. Yesterday we had well, after classes we had a lecture, and then after the lecture we were supposed to go somewhere, but it started raining, so we didn't end up going, so I just stayed inside and hung out with some people, and I got to talk a lot about how politics are different in different states, so that was really fun, or in different countries. That was really, really fun, I thought. And then we went to dinner at a French place, and I had originally ordered the quiche Lorraine, which I thought sounded really good, and I've never actually had quiche, which I've always wanted to try it. But something went wrong with my order, and I ended up getting roast chicken, but it turns out the roast chicken was really, really good. So I got roast chicken and duck salad, and it was incredible. And I will probably go back there because the duck salad was really, really, really good. But yeah, we had a really, really good dinner there. And then this morning I got to sleep in, and every morning for breakfast I have bacon, but it's kind of funny because the bacon here is not the same as American bacon, and so this morning I had a little bit of bacon and Weetabix, which is it's a breakfast cereal, kind of. It's very different, but I've never had it before, and that was really interesting. And then I had apple juice, and the apple juice was freshly pressed, so it wasn't clear like I'm used to, and it was actually really, really good. It's probably the best apple juice I've ever had. And then I worked on my essay for a while, and then I went and toured Oxford Castle, which actually wasn't really much of a castle, it was more of a prison. So yeah, it was a prison, and I got to learn about the different prisoners, and about this woman named Matilda, who was supposed to be the first Queen of England, but she was actually the grandmother of Richard the Lionheart, and I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, and the tour guide asked a lot of questions, and I kind of felt really smart because I knew all the answers to all the questions, like when was the Battle of Hastings and things like that, and it was kind of funny. And then I got the Hastings Directs song stuck in my head, so that was helpful. But yeah, it's been really fun just the last couple days. The first day was just so full of stuff, and I felt like it was just way too much stuff, but I was having a really good time. And then the last 2 days have just been a little bit slower on like a regular pace, but I'm still getting a whole lot done, so I've really liked that. Yeah, it's been a really good couple days, and the food is amazing. Right before I went to the castle, we stopped into a corner shop, and they had sandwiches there they were really, really decently priced. And it's kind of odd because their sandwiches, to get it to eat in, is £1 more than to get it to eat out. And I thought that was really strange because eating in and eating out were essentially the same because you had to be outside either way. It's just if you were outside sitting on like a bench that they had, or if you were sitting on a bench that you found somewhere else. So I thought it was kind of weird that to eat in was more expensive, but we ended up eating out outside of the restaurant that we were at, and it was a really good sandwich. I got pastrami, Swiss, and there was one other thing, an avocado, that's right. Pastrami, Swiss, and avocado. It was probably the best sandwich I've ever had in my life, and it was just very, very good. And yeah, anyways, I've been learning so much, and it's just been really, really exciting, and I've made a lot of friends, and I've gotten to talk to a lot of people about Christianity, which is really important to me, and I've seen a lot of different views that I hadn't seen before, and a lot of people have asked questions about my country and Christianity, and so that's been really exciting for me. Yeah, it's just been a really good trip so far, and I need to go finish my paper now, so I will update you in a little bit, and thank you all for listening and joining in my journey.